The following is intended only for mature audiences.
Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
Today I'd like to talk to you about clutter.
Clutter. Lots of clutter in my house.
Lots and lots of clutter in my house. It drives me fucking bananas, and it actually affects my mental health to a great degree.
I don't know if it affects my mental health. Maybe you can help me out here. But there's times where it's like I can just ignore it because it's not usually, it's not my stuff. But then there's times where it's just like, God, I'm so fucking sick of this shit. I want to order a dumpster and clean house.
Yeah. Mine's because we have more kids than bedrooms.
Mm-hmm,
so your kids all have their own rooms, right?
They do, yeah.
Okay, so that's part of why your issue is less dire than mine. Because when I look around the house and there's just piles of shit and we know we got to clean the room or get them to clean the room, it fucking ticks up my anxiety. You will notice I am very volatile around Christmas time. Specifically because people will just recklessly buy shit for my kids.
I'm not one of them.
I tell my parents, I tell my mother-in-law through my wife. I don't say it directly to her because then she'd do the opposite of what I'm asking. But I say, no big toys, no stuffed animals. I have said 3 years in a row, there is a moratorium on stuffed animals in this house. Don't fucking buy any more.
Yeah, you got 4 girls. That's a lot of stuffed animals.
And they keep buying more. And like when my wife moved in here with my stepdaughter, she had so many stuffed animals that there is a bin in the next room that is the size of your average trash can full of stuffed animals that we took away because her room was too messy. And she cried and cried and cried. But guess what? She hasn't really fucking given a shit about them since they've been down here.
No, they forget about them after
and
a
it's
few
been
weeks.
3 fucking years.
Yeah, like, was it last summer or summer before? Turtle got lice. Remember we were going through the whole lice thing that you were going through? We took a bunch of our stuff, all of our stuffed animals, wrapped them up in bags and everything like that, and got the air out of them and tied them up and put them in the garage. They're still there. She hasn't asked about them.
Interesting.
They don't care. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of stuffed animals, but like when my mom gave some of them away, I noticed right away. Because I told my mom, it was like one of those was a 101 Dalmatians dog that we got while we were in California when I was 7 years old, and you fucking gave it away?
You bitch!
You couldn't give away the big fucking nasty dog that looks like shag carpet?
Well, something like that, I would say you just take out back into the fire pit in the backyard and you burn that shit because it doesn't really biodegrade too well. It's like clothing when you throw it away. That shit does not go. It just sits in a fucking dump somewhere.
It takes a long time for it to go away. There's still part of a flannel t-shirt underneath my deck that's been probably under my deck for like 10 years. I just left it there.
That's so fucked up. It's still just...
It had stain all over it.
Anyway, so I saw this article, right? Because I complain about this shit all the time, and I have flipped the fuck out in the past. And without stirring too much of the shit around here, my wife is disorganized and a fucking pack rat.
My wife is kind of the same. I mean, she wonders why the kids are such slobs. Is because they see mom being a slob. Mom doesn't wash her clothes, fold them, and put them away. Mom washes her clothes, dries them, throws them in baskets, and leaves the baskets all over the house.
Why all over the house instead of just your room?
There'll be a couple in the room. There will be 2 or 3 at the foot of the stairs, and there will be 1 or 2 in the laundry room. And usually what's in the laundry room is dirty, and what's out by the stairs is clean. But does anyone bother to take them and put them away? Does she? No, she doesn't. The kids watch my wife do things slow and lazy and not put shit away. So that's the example they follow. Whereas me, I wash my clothes, I dry them as soon as they're done washing, and I put them away within 12 hours.
Oh, I don't have time to put them away within 12 hours. In fact, I've had a basket of clean shit for like a week that I just haven't had the time to fucking tackle because of work.
Not me. I'll do it before I go to bed. I'll do it when I get home from work. It only takes me 5 minutes to fold my clothes and put them away.
Yeah.
I'm the only one in the house that fucking does it.
We've talked about this. I know it drives you fucking insane.
Yeah. Like, I went to go to sit at my computer desk today, and I had to step over boxes and shit that belonged to the wife, because even though she had her desk all cleaned up, you haven't been in her basement in a while. My desk is here against the wall, and I built her desk over here, so there's space in between, and her shit just overflows. I don't even know what it all is. And then she wonders why I get upset when I go to sit at my desk and her shit is on my desk. Or when I go to my game shelf where I keep my board games and stuff and models that I'm about to build, and her stuff is stacked up on all the shelves so you can't see the games. It's like, get your shit off my shit.
Why is her stuff all over the place like that?
Because she's disorganized. She doesn't put it away.
But she works from home and has all day to do it.
Yeah, well, when she's working from home, she's working. She's actually working, unless she's running Pubert to work, which case I usually pick them up. But, I mean, you'd think she would take 5 minutes to put something away that she used. Doesn't even take that long.
Yeah. It's funny that we're talking about the laundry baskets, because some months ago, I proposed to you a way to solve this issue.
Yeah.
And let me explain this to the audience. I said, why don't you tell the wife that if she does away with this laundry basket habit, that for every week that she doesn't leave it out, you'll eat her out, what, like 2 or 3 times a week is what I came up with?
I think I told her I'd do it once a week.
Okay. So initially when you told her, she was super excited. She was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's going to get her pussy eaten. But the trick here was that you were going to have her clean it up and then just not eat her pussy. And then when she complained about it, you could say, well, remember those blowjobs I was going to get when I let you have that piece of shit cat that I fucking hate? Yeah, now you know how it feels, bitch. Fuck you. And I'm not saying that because I'm mad at your wife, but I'm just saying that is a vicious double standard, that she thinks that she can just propose something to sweet talk you, and you're a fucking dope for falling for that shit. I'm not going to shield you from the criticism whatsoever.
I figured it was a less than 1% chance it was actually going to happen, but it's like,
that's on you.
Happy wife, happy life, miserable fucking husband.
Yeah, fuck that shit. So I went to check in on your progress on this to see how it was going.
I would say our plan, but it was your idea.
Yeah, it's my plan. I fucking gifted it to you. I basically gave you, quote, homework, and it was to bring me joy to see if this would work, because sometimes manipulating people for a prank is fun. I'm not saying manipulating people in general is enjoyable. But anyways, I asked you how the progress was going, and you're like, yeah, so it's like the anniversary of her mom's death, and she's been in a really shitty mood, so I'm not going to push the issue. And that was the end of it. And when was the anniversary of her mom's death?
December 26th.
Okay, so it was the fucking holidays, and it was the anniversary of her mom's death. Well, forever Christmas will be associated with that, so lucky you. So I'm guessing you kind of let that one go.
Well, I was waiting partly to see when she actually did get up and put all those clothes away, and she actually did, probably about 3-4 weeks ago. She actually went through her closet. She went through all the clothes that were on the floor in the closet and got some things organized, got the baskets out of the downstairs, but guess what? They're there again.
Yeah, old habits die hard. Whereas at my house, my wife will clean the table off because she gets sick of the clutter. And then a pile will develop of mostly her shit that I say, get it the fuck off the kitchen counter. Oh my God, we look like a hoarding house almost. Mm-hmm. And then it builds up on the kitchen table until I blow a gasket. And like one example is she'll go to Costco and buy a shit ton of food that we don't have the kitchen storage space for. So there are just containers of fucking treats and shit sitting on top of the stove, on the counter. It's a fucking disaster, and it drives me nuts. It literally brings me to the point of panic attacks, because it's like, Jesus Christ, this house is so fucking small, I feel embarrassed to have people over. Like, there's so many reasons not to have people already, thanks to a few delicately positioned holes in the wall that may or may not have happened due to my fist meeting said wall, based upon frustration with
the beast
and the CPS case over the summer. But still, so much shit.
Yeah. Like, in my garage, I know it's just my garage, but I mean, the garage is a man's place, especially my garage. I do a lot of shit out there. Bathroom tiles from when I installed the bathroom are still out there, and I wanted to throw them away because I can't use them. I'm not going to use them anywhere else. There's not enough. She wanted me to hang on to them. They're still there. It's been 3 years now. She brought home a window pane, an old frame window pane that's got the cross in the middle. She wanted to paint it up. That's been sitting in my garage for 2 years. It's almost been broken twice because it's in an area where I store the leaf blower and a bunch of other stuff that can easily break things.
I would just set that outside and let nature take its course.
She has a
go,
whole thing.
Broke.
A whole thing of cassette tapes.
VHS cassettes?
No,
or
like
audio
cassettes.
Okay.
A whole thing of them. There's only 2 things in our household that can play tapes. Her motorcycle and the stereo I have out in the garage. And the bands on those little motors are wearing out, so it's not exactly at full speed.
Well, also the moisture of your garage is ruining those cassette tapes. Let's be honest. They're going to get fucking
Most
ruined.
likely. I mean, I know there's fucking condensation in there all the damn time. My garage is probably a health hazard, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just shit all over the fucking place. And like you said, stuff all over the kitchen counter. I remember one day she was yelling about the kitchen counter, get all your stuff off the kitchen counter. I want everyone to get their stuff off the kitchen counter. Like, okay, let's see. My sunglasses and my car keys. Put them in my hat and put my hat over on the ledge where I usually put it. Says, I'm done. And she was trying to destroy me with her eyes. She was so fucking mad. Because, everything on that counter is yours.
Then you should have just said, fix your fucking face, because guess what, baby doll? All that shit's yours. So, go stand in the mirror and point that finger.
I got my point across by saying, well, that was all my stuff. See you later. That was literally all I had. None of it was the kids. It was all her shit.
So then how easily did it get handled?
She spent like an hour and a half cleaning the kitchen and got most of it off of there. But again, she's got like a rack for wines that she's not drinking. She's got another rack for fruits and vegetables that 90% of the time is empty. Okay, and then she's got like a metal basket bowl that she puts a bunch of fruits and stuff in. It usually ends up rotting because the kids won't eat fruits. Pubert's the only one that'll eat fruits. I really only like bananas and grapes. I mean, apples are good, but I like mine cold. And even then, they got to be the Honeycrisp ones because they're just, they're nice and sweet.
I'm shaking my head at you and your
first world problems
with fruit.
We never really have them because they're expensive. So even though if the kitchen counter is clean, there's all these racks and shit on there that take up probably 40% of the counter space.
Now here's a question for you. When the shit gets moved off the counter, does it just get moved to another spot where it sits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll either move it to the kitchen table where she will, quote, deal with it later, or she'll put it on the living room table where she will, quote, deal with it later. Or if it's paperwork stuff, she throws it down on her desk.
So there's just mountains of paper on her desk? Sometimes.
Usually when she goes down to work, she goes through the paper, but it usually sits there for a couple of days because she does most of her cleaning on the weekends.
Interesting.
And it's like, my stuff, I mean, okay, my dresser is always kind of a fucking thing, but that's my dresser. My desk, my garage, anywhere I usually store my stuff is usually fairly organized, and I actually dust it once in a while because I don't like dust all over everything.
Well, nobody does, but dusting's a pain in the ass. And then we're just like, fuck, that's dusty, I should clean that. And then you go make a sandwich and forget all about it.
No, I don't. I get my vacuum out, I get the pledge out, and I get it all cleaned up.
So here's an article that got me going down the road on this topic. It's from Men's Health. And it says, many of us have started the year determined to be more organized. And it talks about a bunch of examples of messes. And there's good reason to get on board with the whole getting rid of stuff and cleaning up the house, and the clutter makes you feel better. That's because clutter can affect our anxiety levels, sleep, and ability to focus. It can make us less productive, triggering coping and avoidance strategies. I'll deal with that later. And makes us more likely to snack on junk food and watch TV.
Gotcha, bitch!
2011, neuroscience researchers using functional MRI and other psychological measurements found clearing clutter from the home and work environment resulted in a better ability to focus and process information, as well as increased productivity. Clutter makes us feel stressed, anxious, and depressed. And research from the United States in 2009, for instance, found the levels of stress hormone cortisol were higher in mothers whose home environment was cluttered. So, like, I go into the kids' room. That could be part of
my wife's problem, yeah.
I go into the kids' room, and it's just shit everywhere. And I tell them, you need to clean up. And they're like, oh, look how clean our dresser is now. Well, they've thrown away the garbage off of there, but just neatly stacked all the shit in piles, which is a half-assed way of doing it. But back to my stepdaughter, like, she's really fucking disorganized, and we've argued about her room, and she's like, I'm just a messy person. Now, call me an asshole for saying this, but that sounds like something that would come out of the beast's mouth.
That's exactly what it is. I'm just a messy person. I don't want to clean up after myself. I'm a messy person.
Isn't that the same as like telling a bunch of people in a restaurant of a certain ethnicity they're talking too loud and they're like, I just have a loud voice, motherfucker, get off my ass.
Kind of the same, yeah.
I'm not saying which race it is. I'm just, speculating here. Wink. So then the wife is disorganized. I'm like, oh, that's where she learned it. But you go to my fucking mother-in-law's house? Holy shit. They don't park in the garage. Because all 3 fucking stalls of their garage are full to the brim with crap. Full. Their basement, almost unnavigable. Their house, parts of it are borderline unnavigable.
That's hoarding.
It is hoarding.
That's a mental health issue.
Yeah, and they won't get rid of shit. And like she'll go and she'll buy all these big stupid fucking toys that she sees for dirt cheap at goddamn Goodwill. And she'll hold on to them for years, plural. And then give them. And I've had to complain about, don't send big fucking toys over here.
I have an aunt like that. Their garage door came off its hinges, off its track. So and they couldn't get in there to actually reinstall it. So he just built swing doors on the front of the garage and they padlock it.
What a lazy piece of shit.
When you go, but you can't get in the garage. It is floor to ceiling, wall to wall crap. Like my mom was over there a long time ago and she was helping clean out the kitchen. I haven't been in that house in like 15 years. But she was over there and she's like, like she found like kid books, like baby books and stuff like that, brand new, never used, like stuffed in cabinets and stuff like that, and like in the living room, VHS cassettes that were still saran wrapped.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and she's like, "Why'd you buy this stuff?" Well, I bought it for my kids and everything, but it's not open. She's like, "Well, yeah, I forgot I had it," and it's just like, so get rid of it. No, they might maybe for my grandkids someday. Like,
what the fuck is a baby
who's got a VHS
that's born in the goddamn 2000s going to do with a VHS tape? You know how fucking rare VCRs are to find?
They're very rare.
Yeah.
So my aunt is a hoarder. I mean, she has to be. And she refuses to get rid of any of this stuff. I don't know why her husband doesn't put stuff down. You can't be a hoarder unless the person you're living with lets it happen. So they're like, what are they?
I have repeatedly asked for her to clean that space on the other side of this half of the basement. And she's like, well, you just keep putting it on me. I'm like, I can't do anything to convert that space to move my workout shit over there so that we can put a bedroom down here for your daughter until you get your shit out of the way and I can completely reorganize that fucking section under the stairs. Something needs to be done. I can't do it without some of her shit going away and all that shit getting out of the room. Like, if you ever had a room so messy that you just took everything out of it and then you slowly put it back together, and by the time you were done, it was as clean as you wanted it to be. Have you ever had to do that before?
Yeah, my mom and dad made me do it to my bedroom a few times when I was a kid because they wanted to declutter my room. My room was never messy, but I had a lot of stuff packed, nice and organized and everything. And my mom would be like, I want you to take everything out of your closet and put it in the living room and then just bring back what you really, really want in your closet. And, almost the same thing, So it's like my closet was like 50% less stuff in it, or my bookshelf, And then again, my mom and dad would send us away to my aunt and uncle's for a week. And yeah, I'm with my cousins and we're on the lake and we're swimming and everything, boating. But my mom got rid of a lot of my stuff, including that 101 Dalmatian. Fuck.
Well, you seem really hung up on that stuffed animal being gone.
I was pissed off about it because I knew who she gave it to, and that asshole doesn't deserve that dog.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Back to my mother-in-law. She'll do this shit. So anytime there's a birthday, I'm like, here we fucking go. What stupid crap does she buy them? Same with my parents on Christmas. I've gotten to the point where I want to say to them, stop buying toys, stop buying clothes, stop buying anything. Do something fun with them. Take them to a movie. Go somewhere. Make a memory. Don't just hand them more fucking plastic that I have to grit my teeth over because we don't have a spot for it and they don't have the wherewithal to go, oh, maybe I should get rid of some shit. Because this year alone, I said to my parents, if you buy any more noisy fucking baby toys for my son, who turned 1 last August, I will get rid of 2 of them that you have purchased from the past. For every 1 new fucking noisy toy, 2 go bye-bye, and they have barely been used, and that is money down the fucking toilet. I cannot sell it. I will have to just throw it away. And I hate doing that shit because it's just contributing to more crap in landfills. My ma got the message. My mother-in-law does not think that she needs to abide by it because she thinks I'm trying to be controlling, I guess, but that's based upon the fact that she had an alcoholic, abusive, controlling first husband. Go fucking figure that any guy that tries to take control of a situation, oh my God, I'm so triggered. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Oh,
he was
my
abusive
God.
and controlling. Mom, he wanted you to clean the house. Shut up!
Yeah, no, but like with my folks, now months ago I posted pictures of my parents' garage and their basement. Do you recall?
Nope. I don't recall seeing that.
The garage, they can park in, right? But the outer walls are all shit. All my dad's shit. He will get rid of fucking nothing.
Isn't it all like tools and stuff like that, though? Or is it just
There are
crap?
fucking old pairs of shoes he won't throw away.
What?
He got pissed at me for throwing away garbage from the garage without him there. He's like, you stay out of my stuff. I'll figure it out and get rid of what I need to get rid of. I'm like, I threw away empty boxes that said Happy's potato chips on them. I don't think I've seen Happy's potato chips since the fucking 90s at Cub Foods, Roger. What is your malfunction? My dad's a pack rat. And I don't know if it's because he grew up poor or what the fuck. Now, I will hold on to shit that I get for free thinking it's useful, or I may have a use for it down the line. But there's a shelf life on that shit. And the only free things I really grab anymore are furniture that we have an immediate use for, or exercise equipment at the end of somebody's driveway to either upgrade what I have or to take it and then sell it to some dumb fucking soccer mom that has a bug up her butt about getting an elliptical or an exercise bike. I've done that shit repeatedly.
I'm the same way. I have stuff that I hung on to thinking it might be useful in, sometime in the near future. But I always end up going through my desk drawers. I go through my junk box and stuff like that. And I end up throwing a lot of shit out because it's like, I hung on to these wires, these green and black wires that were part of a speaker system I got. But I have no need for them, so I'll throw them out. I mean, speaker wire is not expensive.
I wish my dad would do that shit. I wish her mom would do that shit. Because
I wish my dad would do that shit. He's got millions of comic books that are worth nothing.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, their comic book habit from the fucking 90s. Oh my God. And then all the collector toys they bought that probably are all crushed to shit in the packaging and not worth what he hopes to get for them or even what he purchased them for.
They're not crushed. That stuff's all either prominently displayed in his computer room or it's boxed away.
Well, that's fucking good. But back to the story, as we keep getting up on side tangents.
This is more interesting.
Well, bitching feels good, doesn't it? The point of this episode was basically be fucking therapeutic for me. Chronically cluttered home environment can lead to a constant low-grade fight-or-flight response, taxing our resources designed for survival, which explains why I'm always running so hot, because I'm surrounded by clutter all the time, and then I deal with the beast, and I deal with my mom, so it's a non-stop barrage of bullshit, and then you throw my fucking stepdaughter and her fucking never getting rid of anything, and her always, that's mine, it's mine, don't touch that, it's mine. I'm so sick of the word mine. I put the word mine on the banned words list. I'm like,
saw that.
Find a new fucking way to communicate ownership, because I'm sick of, that's mine, it's mine.
I own it.
You know what's mine? The fucking house. And you're just taking up space here. So you just count the days till that 18th birthday. Mine.
I've told it to the kids. They're like, how come, they'll say I'm hypocritical and things. Like, you get mad at us for leaving lights on, but then you can choose to leave them on. I said, because I pay the electric bill.
Yeah, that's
so
how that works.
I'm deciding if I want to pay extra money for me to leave that light on overnight.
See this line right here? Clutter might also have implications for our relationships with those around us. I don't need to read any further because I know that it fucking does. Because I blow my stack and then my wife gets all pissed off and says, well, I'm going to get a storage unit. I'm like, that's not the answer. That's a fucking crutch. Why?
That's
Why?
just expanding your crap.
You can pay money to keep your shit somewhere where it's going to get damaged from moisture and mice. And statistically speaking, around these parts, meth addicts that break into storage lockers for whatever they think they can steal. So you're bitching about not having enough money to pay your bills every month and having to work so much, but you're going to go rent a space for all the shit that doesn't fit in our small house, and you think that I'm going to buy us a bigger house? Why, so you can fill it with more shit?
Yeah, the whole idea is...
no.
I mean, the only reason I was fishing for a storage unit this past fall was the place to put the boat and possibly the motorcycles. So I didn't have to keep the motorcycles in the garage or put them in a shed that leaks with floorboards that have rotted out, and I'm putting 2 800-pound motorcycles in there so that it could probably just break all the way through the floor. But goddamn, storage units are expensive. But I never dreamed of, I need a storage unit so I can put stuff in there that I don't want to look at for the next 5 years.
Or fucking 25 if you're my dad and it's his shed in the back of the goddamn yard.
Now, isn't the storage shed supposed to be just so, like, while you're moving or something? You store it there while you're moving so you can get it out of there? Because, like, a realtor told me that, if you want to sell a home, people are more apt to buy homes that are somewhat furnished.
But they want them to be depersonalized and decluttered so they can visualize the space instead of going, this house is too small.
That's what a storage unit, I think, was originally for. It's just to put stuff there for a month or two, not for years.
Or in your case, to house a
boat that I didn't
problems.
want exposed to the sunlight and elements all winter long. To put the motorcycles in there so I didn't have to worry about them falling through the shed floor. I was hoping to park my truck in the garage this winter.
That's not going to happen.
No, there's 2 motorcycles, 2 4-wheelers, a snowblower.
Okay, well, I'm not going to point the finger anywhere but across the desk at you, because those are your purchases.
Well, the one is for the wife. One of those 4-wheelers is hers, and one of those motorcycles is hers.
Once again, your purchases.
Mm-hmm.
So one last bit about this. Surprisingly, all of that negative energy that you feel from clutter doesn't go away when you sleep. Because people who go to bed in cluttered rooms are more likely to have sleep problems, including difficulty falling asleep and being disturbed during the night, maybe by a stack of shit falling over when the cat fucking jumps on it. For example, it's happened to me. Multiple studies have found a link between clutter and poor eating choices. Disorganized and messy environments lead participants in one study to eat more snacks, eating twice as many cookies than participants in an organized kitchen environment.
Makes sense. People who usually have really messy houses usually aren't the healthiest people.
Yeah.
Maybe if I decluttered my dresser and whatnot, maybe I'll sleep a little better.
Maybe.
Or maybe it'd just be the clutter on her dresser. Because right now there's the only 2 places, her dresser and my dresser. The rest of our room is somewhat clean and organized.
Well, if you look at my room, my side of the bed, there's a few pairs of pants that I've worn the last couple days sitting there that are clean.
They're in rotation?
Yeah. They're not quite dirty enough for me to launder. I wear pants more than once because I'm not retarded. And then my wife's side of the room is a pile of clothing, typically, that I can't tell if it's clean or dirty. And she's like, well, that's dirty. Well, that's clean. Well, I'll get to it. Her dresser in the next room. And this is where I'm going to end it because I'm sick of bitching about it. And she's probably going to hear us through the floor. She's right above us right now. Be afraid. There's a dresser in the next room that is so full of clothing that the door won't shut. And she bitches about the cat being on our bed or getting its fur on her clothes because she's cat allergic to a minor degree. But yet, she leaves so many clothes piled, hanging half out of that dresser, that the big, tall, mirrored fucking door on that bitch won't close. And the cat's like, oh, look at this perfect nesting environment for me to lay in.
It's dark and secluded.
No, the door's wide open. He just lays there on a pile of clothes that's half hanging out of that bitch.
I don't know why women don't get it. I mean, I know there's messy guys, but most of the guys I've met in my life are actually kind of neat freaks. It's always the girls that are slobs.
I used to have a very clean home, and then I got married. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It? Podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number 1 fan Tim.
And that's the end.